New topic, everyone. We want to use a specific function called Userelationship. As would be clear from the name, we are essentially referring to the relationship between two tables. Let's look at a business problem. This time I want to come to Power BI, and my requirement is that I want to create a line chart with my date, in the axis and my sales amount in the value. As you can see, this will show me a line chart for my entire order date. Now, why is it the order date? If you remember, we had created a relationship between the date table and the order date. But what if we want to plot the shipping amount on the same line chart? That means we will have two lines with us. One will show us the order date, the other will show us the shipping date. If we try to create a relationship between the shipping date and date, you notice that the second relationship is a dotted line. That means that this relationship is inactive. This is active, this is inactive. If you want to make the first one inactive, you can simply right click, go to properties, and then remove the option called make this relationship active. And once you have done that, you can make the other one active. Now we can come back and create a new measure. And we will say that total sales order date is equal to calculate total sales. And then I want to use my relationship between two columns. That means my order date and my date table. What this does is, this will allow me to remove the sales value and only keep this total sales by order date. You notice it's the exact same result. So we can now come back. I'll copy the entire thing, create a new measure, and this time we want to call this total sales by ship date. And what is the difference? This time we want to connect the date table with the shipping date. And if we put the ship date in values as well, you notice that we can now see a comparison. For example, Q4 December, the total order was 96,999 and the total ship was 105,000. That means we generated a new order for 96,999, but we shipped out 105,000. So you can essentially find out the difference there. From an inventory management perspective, this can be very, very handy. For example, just to continue with this, I'm going to copy and paste this entire chart. And let's create another measure. And we call this the difference in my inventory. This is nothing but the total order that I'm generating minus the total shipment that I'm shipping out. And if we put this third measure in this chart, and let's make this a column chart, you can notice that, let's come back to the quarter level of hierarchy. Okay, so I can see all my quarters here. In fact, let me also make this into a column chart so it becomes a little simpler to understand. So if you look at 2014 Q1, order was 74, the shipment was 69. That means there was a gap. We were shipping lesser than new orders. That is why the difference is 5,000, right? That means we still have 5,000 inventory with us because we are shipping lesser than what new orders are being generated. And you get the idea. We can basically show it like this. Just a small tip. Whenever you do something like this, you might want to color red and green the numbers that are greater or lesser than 0. For this, you can go to Format, go to Data Color, and then click on this conditional formatting button. And very simply, we will say that the value is my difference inventory, and we want to write a rule, which means that if the value is greater than or equal to, let's say minus 100,000, and is less than 0, then the color will be, let's say, orange. And another rule, if the number is greater than or equal to 0 and it is less than 100,000, then the color will be, let's say, blue, like this. And very neatly, you can see that the numbers greater than 0, that means where we have a positive inventory, it is blue, and a negative inventory is orange. If you want to hide this first blank that is coming, you can do that as well. So you can just go to Filter and make sure that right now, if you notice carefully, we are getting this small value here, right? And we don't really want to show that. So what we can do is, in my quarter, we can just make sure to remove this blank value. Same thing, in the filter, we will make sure to remove the blank value like this. And this gives you an excellent result where you can see the inventory, you can solve the inventory management problem.